Hey guys, Shawn here with AFK Allies, and I'm here with a review of the first episode of the new DC Universe show, Doom Patrol. It just came out today. I'm recording this at 12:30, so technically yesterday, but it is the spin-off of their flagship show, Titans. The DC Universe is obviously comic book universe, but also it is the DC comic books streaming site. They've got comic books on there, they've got articles. It's kind of like a all-in-one place, but subscription site like Netflix, and I think it's like $10 a month, and they're trying to put out consistent programming. First they put out Titans, which I watched the first episode. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I think episode four or so of Titans, I remember hearing they did a backdoor pilot for this show, Doom Patrol, and I kind of ignored it, and today it premiered to like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch it. So I did, and wow, that was an hour of television. It was amazing. It was great. Each character got introduced. They got the backstory out of the way. They didn't fully delve into the backstories, I don't think. I'm sure there's more to come, but they got the basic ideas that were needed to be conveyed about the characters and the motivations done in about the first 40 minutes. And the last I think it was 58 minutes long. So the last 18 minutes or so were just all devoted to setting up the plot for the rest of the season. The main villain was introduced, and they kind of gave his backstory a little bit. They gave a tease of it right away in the first episode, and by the end of the episode, we're set for the main conflict. We know all of our main characters, excluding one, which I'll get into in a moment. And we know, to an extent, what the motivation. We have an idea of what the motivation of the bad guy is, which is I loved because to me, Titans, the first episode, I couldn't continue afterwards because I couldn't continue after it. I didn't know. It felt like a whole lot of nothing for 60 minutes, whereas this, it felt like it used each moment perfectly. Each character got about what they needed. I think one character I'll get to could have used a little bit more. I think one character I'll get to, I think she could use a little bit more, but I'll get into that. So one last thing I want to touch on just really quickly before I dive in is that this show is very funny, and I did not expect that because the last show, Titans, was very dark, at least in the first episode. There was some humor to it, but it was very, very intense. And this show is very intense. It is definitely rated TVMA, I think. If not, it should be. If there's something higher than TVMA, then it's that. But it's also pretty funny, which was nice. So going right in, I'm going to go over all the characters real quick and give it quick introduction, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on them. And if I do more of these reviews, then I'm not gonna introduce each character again. I'm just gonna do my thoughts because obviously I've already explained each character. So the Doom Patrol, as they're called, consists of right now 4 heroes. Number 1, Crazy Jane is a member of the Doom Patrol with 64 distinct personalities that she switches between. It does not seem to be at will right now, and each personality has a different superpower. I don't think we saw any but one. I think we saw one superpower when she transforms into some fire stuff. But Crazy Jane is my spirit animal. I absolutely loved her. Diana, I think Diana Guerrera, I believe that's her name, killed it. Playing all the. I think we were introduced to two personalities. I think. Yeah, I think 2 personalities we were introduced to, and they felt like distinct characters right off the bat. As soon as she was switching, you knew these were 2 different people. You know, it was amazing, and I can't wait to see more of her. Moving along, the another member is Negative Man, I think voiced by Matthew Bomer, I think. He's a member of the Doom Patrol and a former Air Force pilot from... I don't know. I'll update the years in the next video if I do a review for episode 2, but I don't remember what years each of them are from. They're all from different years, and they all have been collected in this house. But Negative Man, he crashed into negative energy while in a test flight and is now wrapped in bandages from head to toe. And Negative Man is this super cool, stoic character who seems to have a lot of layers that the show could really delve into as the series progresses, and I think he has potential to be my favorite character in the Doom Patrol. But for now, that character, my favorite character, is Robot Man, voiced by none other than the amazingly talented I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name. Okay, hold on. Brandon Fraser. That was it. Brandon Fraser. He's great on this show. Couldn't remember his name though. But it's 12:30. Bear with me. Robot Man is a member of the Doom Patrol and a former NASCAR racer whose brain was transplanted into a robotic body after an accident destroyed his own body. And he so far is my favorite character in the whole show. His backstory was what was most of the time was spent on. And I absolutely loved there's like this body horror aspect to when he's first waking up and he's realizing that he has this very messed up body now. And so he wakes up, he has this almost body horror scene of just how kind of messed up his body is, and he's getting used to it. And that was my favorite part of the episode, to be honest, when he's just kind of learning to deal with what has happened to him. I'm sorry, I'm plugging my phone in. Okay, we're set now. Moving right on to, sadly, my least favorite character from this episode, but still very cool, Elasti-Woman, who is the final member of the Doom Patrol for now, and a former actress who developed the power to stretch, shrink, and grow after being exposed to a toxic gas. Again, she was my least favorite character in the episode. There wasn't a whole lot to her. There was some hints of a character in there, and there was some good moments. There's a good moment with her in a bar, but I needed more. I need more. I hope there's more. I assume there's more coming, but for now, I need more. They are led by a man known as the Chief, and he is a leading doctor in medical science who specializes in finding those in need who are on the edge of death and in need of a miracle. And he kind of has gathered all these people who were on the edge of death and in need of a miracle, as I said, and they all live in his manor, as it's called in the episode, the Doom Manor. They called it at one point. And he was very cool. He was very interesting to me. He's got some sort of connection to the bad guy who I'll go into in a minute, named Mr. Nobody, who was introduced at the top of the episode and then showed up again at the end. And I'm very interested to see how that connection works. He seems to be hiding some secrets from the rest of the group that I'm very interested to see what those are. And also, he gave me a bit of a Charles Xavier to the X-Men sort of vibe, and I'm very interested to see if it continues to be like that, or if he does have nefarious motives. I'm not familiar with the Doom Patrol comics, so... moving on to the final character introduced very briefly at the beginning and then very briefly at the end, Mr. Nobody, who is a living shadow able to drain the sanity of others after being experimented on by an ex-Nazis in post-war Paraguay. He was in the show very little, but I'm super fascinated by what his whole character is. In the very beginning, I love Alan Tudyk. He's played by Alan Tudyk in the beginning, and he's great. And Alan Tudyk actually does voiceover for the entirety of the episode, and I think he might do it for the whole show. I hope, because I love Alan Tudyk's voice, and I'm very interested to see if that is Negative Man's voice, or Mr. Nobody's voice, or if that is just Alan Tudyk voicing another character that's the narrator, if it's just like a thing, just breaking the fourth wall or whatever. But I'm very fascinated to see where Mr. Nobody ends up, and he had some very cool special effects on him at the end of the episode. There is one last member of the Doom Patrol. Cyborg is going to be in the show, who is normally a Teen Titan, but in this show, as far as I'm aware, I don't remember him being in the Doom Patrol in the comics, but in this show he will be a member of the Doom Patrol, and he has not yet shown up. But I'm very excited to see him, and see this take on Cyborg when we just got one 2 years ago in Justice League that I was on. It was okay. He was fine. He's the actor's now on True Detective Season 3, actually. He's doing a great job in there. But everything else, the show was shot beautifully. The CGI for the most part was fantastic. There was a little bit of spotty CGI at the end. There's like this scene that happens, and there's some spotty CGI, but there is some fantastic CGI on Mr. Nobody. And also, I don't know if he's practical or not, or what. I don't think he can be practical. I don't understand how they do it practical, but Robot Man looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, overall, just, wrapping it up, I'd give this episode about a 9 out of 10. I think there were some things they could have done better, but I think they nailed it right on the head. I was very excited because, again, not a big fan of the first episode of Titans. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and watch it at some point. But if the DC universe can provide this kind of content, I'm sticking with it. You know, I want to see what this Swamp Thing show is they're doing. They're doing a Harley Quinn show. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with them. I'm excited to see what else they do. And I'm super excited for the next episode, which hopefully I will be back here again reviewing for you guys. And yeah, so thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with the Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 2 review.